Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you are getting the second decade to the 21st century off to a good start. And speaking of start, let's start our tutorial on how to make a slideshow in Cinelerra. So I don't want these keyframes on for the first bit of this. We go to File, we go to Load Files. It's only showing PNGs, which I don't have any, so we change the filter to nothing. We highlight the images we want to work with. And what we're going to do this time for our insertion strategy is concatenate to existing tracks. What that is going to do is it's going to bump this all down to the video channel at the beginning. Always make sure you go home before you do anything. It's going to pop these in here sequentially, one after the other. There we go. And if you look, you see that we have a 6-second duration on all of these. That is because under Settings and Preferences Recording, import images with a duration of 6 seconds. You can change that to whatever you want. If you uncheck it, it does it for 1 frame at a time, which is making an impossibly short picture show, or a really cool way to do a sequence of PNGs as an overlay effect. Maybe I'll get that one later. So let's change our view to something we can more easily work with. And go to our video transitions here. So I think I want to fade this in from black to start with. So let's grab our dissolve, move that over to the very front. And right now our effects are defaulting to 1 second each. That works for me. Second picture, let's do a slide. Third one, let's do a shape wipe. Now, if you don't want to get fancy and you want to keep it basic, this is all you got to do. For shape wipe, let's show it. And I don't want to use that one. I'm going to click, and I'm going to have, you're going to see that I have a lot more of these than you do. Don't worry. That's another tutorial. I'll show you how to handle it. We go to, let's go to H for heart. There we go, heart.png. Now we can preview our effect. Make sure it's going the right direction. And it is. If it wasn't, you could always change it from white to black to black to white. Now, if you've stuck with me this far, what you've probably noticed is these pictures right here are a lot more closely zoomed in than these right here. There's a reason for that. Enter the previous tutorial on camera automation. You adjust the camera automation, and all these are sized pretty much the same size, so we show the tool info and pull back a little. At 0.5 we can see the whole picture. So look how incredibly useful that is already. Alright, next effect. Let's chunk another shape wipe in there. Right click on it, show. This time I want to use 4 boxes. There we go. Alright, now I've decided I want to do something a little bit fancier. I've got this picture of Oma holding Ian, and I got this picture of me sitting down with him, doing his little Jack Benny face. So what I want to do is I want to kind of ease in on this as far as do a camera zoom in, and then like maybe start down here in the corner and zoom out. Do a fade between the two. Since the camera automation is, you know, working for the whole track, we're going to have to do 2 different camera automations. We can do that. All we got to do is go to Video, Add Track. We're going to select the clips that we want to work with. C for copy. We're going to arm video 2, disarm video 1, And actually what I want to do is I want to do a fade. We're going to do a manual fade there. So we're going to need a little lead time on this. So let's go here, and we want to paste this back 1 second. So we do insert point there, V. I don't know why it does that. There's a funky little transition here. So we're going to just detach it. Now let's disable this track, re-enable this track, and we want to get rid of the stuff that we just copied. So highlight the first little bit, go to the very end, shift, click, X, gone. Now let's go back here. Now we are not going to be able to fade from here to here because this track is over the bottom track. Easily fixed. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this track. We're going to unhighlight all the other tracks. We're going to go up here and we're going to go to tracks. Move tracks down. There we go. So let's get this going on here first. We're going to enable our keyframes because this is a keyframe thing. We're going to select the track that we're working on. And we're going to start right here where our clips begin. And let's give our fader a little bump. Go to the end. Fader all the way out. Now we've got a manual fade. But if you'll notice, there's a little overlap there. We're about to fix that too. Let's go back here. We're going to go to our camera controls. Show the tool. And something you'll notice here, this is 0.5. That's the camera controls of the selected track. If I was to select the other track, boom. You see them go up to 1. So if those don't make sense, you probably got the wrong track selected. That's a good way to double check yourself. So let's highlight the correct track. Give all of our settings a little bump so that the initial point of reference is recorded. And then we're going to go, let's say right about to the middle of here. And that's going to be where we do our little fade in thing, a little gently bump in. And that's going to work. That covers everything just fine. So we've got our top effect done. Very important at this point, uncheck generate keyframes while tweaking, because we don't want to record anything else. Because if we left that on, what we're about to do next would really screw us up, and we'd probably spend a while trying to figure out what's going on. We can't really edit the bottom track with this overlay thing going on, so what we're going to do is we are going to don't send output. Now, no point in this timeline is showing. So we're going to work exclusively with this. Let's go here. Let's make sure that this track is highlighted. Let's enable our keyframes. And we're gonna, I think I want to start like down here in the corner. I'm gonna move down here. That works for me. I like that. Let's start right there. Back a little bit because there's a little black showing. Now we haven't zoomed or anything, so again we want to set this frame of reference as 1. These we already really screwed up, so don't worry about that. We want to go to the end of the clip, like just before we're going to add that fade of 1 second. And we are going to center it by typing 0, 0, and bring it back to where it's supposed to be, which is pulling out at 0.5. Now, again, we disable the keyframes because we don't want this to be recorded as an event. We enable the output of our first track. Let's go ahead and move it back out to a more manageable area. And you see all the keyframes here that are highlighted, like this. They're all S-curves. So what do? Keyframes. Straighten curves. Now we have nice linear movement. And when we preview that whole thing that we just did, this is what we get. It does a little fade into Oma, moves in for her, fades, moves out for me, and we're back to our timeline.